Hello, this is Miss Renzi, and this is the May 11th and May 12th pre-recorded lesson if you are unable to make the Zoom. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is planning our own Greek style myth. We're not going to write it today, we're just going to plan it. And before we do that, we're going to learn about the purpose and the meaning behind Greek myths. Okay, so first, what I would ask is that you let me know what Greek myths you read. So if you were in the live Zoom, I'd have you do that in the chat box. But if you're missing the live Zoom, I still want to know which ones you read. So I'd ask that you just send me a quick email. Like pause the video, do it right now. Which Greek myths did you read? If you didn't read a Greek myth, go back to last week's assignment, click some of the links, and read or watch a couple myths, and then let me know. Really, pause the assignment and do that if you haven't done it, because this assignment is going to be really hard to do if you've never read a Greek myth before. Okay, so number 3 on our agenda is, what is the meaning of Greek myths? What is the purpose of them in the first place? So let's go to that. So Greek myths have 2 main purposes. Most Greek myths either explain something that happened in nature or in life, or they were intended to teach humans how to act. So, for example, for something that happens in nature or in life, like where does lightning come from? The Greeks invented the myth of Zeus. Can you hear all the screaming in the background? That's my kid having a temper tantrum. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pause and start again. Okay. The second possible purpose of Greek myths is to teach humans how to act, or usually teach them how not to act. So don't be vain, for example, or don't wish for powers that people shouldn't have. Okay, let's take a closer look. So question, why is there disease, death, and all that other bad stuff in life? That's something that happens in life, is bad stuff, right? Right now we're in coronavirus land, right? Why does that stuff happen? The Greek answer was the myth of Pandora's box. So the myth of Pandora's box is that Pandora was the first human woman, and Zeus was not convinced that humans were a very good idea. He figured as long as Pandora could follow orders, everything might be okay. So to test her, he gave her a box as a gift, but she was told never to open it. Unfortunately, Pandora was only human, and her curiosity got the better of her. She just had to know what was in the box, and when she opened it, all those bad things that the gods had put in the box, war, poverty, disease, and more, they were released into the world. Pandora's very human decision to open the box she was told not to open is the reason that the Greeks believed all the bad stuff exists in the world. So they didn't have to blame the gods, they could blame Pandora. Okay, let's go on and look at one about how to teach humans not to act. So question, can a person ever really be better than a god? And the Greeks' answer was the myth of Arachne. In the myth of Arachne, Arachne was a young woman who was a very talented weaver. She made such beautiful fabric on her loom that she bragged she was even better than the goddess of Athena. But she wasn't. She wasn't a better weaver than the goddess Athena. And Athena challenged her to a competition. And when Arachne lost, Athena turned her into a spider to teach her a lesson. So this myth explains how spiders learn to make webs, and also why you shouldn't brag about yourself. So that one does both. Okay. Today's assignment is that you are going to do some planning for your work on Wednesday and Thursday. You're going to plan and write your own Greek style myth. How are you going to start? Well, first you're going to fill out the purple form with some ideas to help you brainstorm and plan out your myth. Then Wednesday and Thursday, you will actually spend time writing the myths out. Okay. So let's exit this and take a look at the purple form. And this purple form is what you're going to fill out. So I'm going to just preview it with you. You're going to use this form to start the process of planning out how you want to write your Greek style myth. This is only the planning doc. You will write the myth itself out in a Google Classroom assignment during Wednesday or Thursday's class. So the first step is I want you to try to ask a question that you might think it would be interesting to answer, through a myth. So, for example, where did thunder and lightning come from? Or why is there death and disease in the world? Please stay away from those two. Those are my examples, and they show, you what to do, but you can't use them. They're just my examples. I also want you to try to think up a question, a different question, like a second question, that's about teaching humans how to act or not how to act. So you want to pick one that you think would be fun to answer in a myth. So, for example, should a human be able to turn everything they touch to gold? That's the myth of King Midas. Spoiler alert, no. Or should a human brag that they are better at a skill than a goddess, like the myth of Arachne? Spoiler alert, no, they shouldn't. So I've had you do one that's about nature and then one that's about how humans should act or not act. And now I want you to come up with a third one. For the third one, you can do it about nature or how humans should act, or if you can think of one, something that does both, like Arachne. You've thought up 3 questions. I want you to choose which one you think you're most interested in. You can change your mind later, but I'm asking you to try to choose what you think is going to be your choice now. And then I want the last step is to think up the characters in your myth, right? So you can invent your own gods, monsters, or heroes, or you can use the Greek ones that you already know. So you could make Athena a character in your myth, or you could make up a goddess, Lulu the goddess, right? Susie the goddess. And you can populate your story with pretend goddesses, pretend monsters, or you can do a combination. So I want you to think up at least 3 characters and try to make sure that they have something to do with the question that you picked. And then I want you, for the last question, to write down a quick summary of how you think your myth might go. This is not the writing assignment itself. It doesn't have to be descriptive or long. It can be between 2 and 3 sentences long. Just tell me like the story, what you're thinking might be your story. And you can always change it later if you decide that what you thought up before is no good. This is just a planning document. So I'm just asking you to brainstorm up 3 questions, pick the one you like the best, set up 3 characters, and give me a 2 or 3 sentence summary of what you think you're going to have those characters do to answer the question. That's today's work. So when you're done, press submit, and we will chat about your responses in class on Wednesday and Thursday. So please make sure you have this done, because working on Wednesday and Thursday is going to be really difficult if you haven't done the Monday, Tuesday work. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to stop my recording.